Now we're back with more of the Niki Wilkerson Show, and I'm sitting here now with Nicole. I'm going to speak with her some more, and I want to get your ideas and thoughts and opinions. Do you think that kids should smoke pot?
Of course not. Of course not. I believe pot should be regulated, standardized with labeling. It should be sold in places such as like a state liquor store. You know how they sell their merchandise. It's taxed, it's standardized, it's labeled, and there's ID in order to procure it. So no, of course I don't believe children should have marijuana.
Absolutely not. I agree.
They're out there playing basketball and baseball.
But there amazingly are some mothers out there that do agree and think that, you know, that's something that, you know, like if their kids ADD, you know, or whatever little certain problems, and they think that that's the medication their kids need. But I don't believe it should be done until they become an adult to make their own decisions. You should not be, you know, somebody that's condoning for a 15, 16-year-old to be sitting there smoking marijuana with you.
I believe only a doctor is able to make those
if they think it's drastic enough to where it's needed.
You know, I don't think that we should just go out and give children marijuana. Of course not. But the doctors, I believe, should have that ability to recommend to their patients that I believe this is an alternative method for you to use in order to control this issue.
Yeah, and then let the parent make the decision, discretion of their own household. Now, well, will there be more crime if marijuana is legalized, do you think? Or
no, I don't believe so. I believe there'll be less crime, and not just marijuana-related crime, but less crime, period. Most African-American families, no, I'm not even going to say most, a lot of African-American families have suffered greatly because of the drug trade, the street drug trade. I myself am one of those families. I lost a dear brother to the trade. And all because of what? Misunderstandings, or I think you're doing this, or you got a pile of money and I want it, or you got a pile of weed, pot and marijuana and I want it. Now, if we were to legalize and standardize marijuana, they would be labeled, you would know where it came from, you would know how it was grown. Also, you would need identification in order to access it. You know,
jails wouldn't be overpacked.
They would not be overpacked. We would not be building more.
There's more heavier people to put in there than somebody that's doing that for pain or whatever.
And I understand it's all for the understanding of it's all for this tax money for having that particular person in jail instead of.
We could be generating more tax revenues if it was regulated and controlled. Right now, through marijuana prohibition, who controls it? The thugs control it. Okay, prohibition generates corruption and crime. Okay, taking the prohibition out of the equation, regulating and controlling marijuana will not eliminate all crime. I'm not going to go to that extent, but it will take a deep hit and dive on crime, because people won't be walking around with a pile of money in one pocket and a gun in the other.
Well, if pot is legalized, do you guys think that that's going to be a lot easier for kids to get access to pot, or
do they have access to it now? They have access to it now. Okay,
You're right.
Children have greater access to the pills in their parents' medicine cabinet, okay, or to the unlocked liquor cabinet,
or if a parent has in their room. Yep.
As well, okay. But I believe that if it was in a store, like I know I sound like a parrot, but if it was regulated and standardized as any liquor or prohibited
controlled
substance, then children would not have greater access to it at all. And if we regulate what we do within our homes, as we do with the alcohol, you know, and the pills, you can't keep all children away from all drugs. That will never happen. Okay,
they're going to find friends that are going to have access.
But you can make the effort, and I believe if we were to have it regulated, then we would.
There's been so many studies, so many polls that say, is it easier to get alcohol or marijuana? And poll after poll after poll says, oh, it's so much easier to get marijuana. Because, what, they don't have to show any?
Drug dealers don't ask for ID. You have the money, I have the drugs. And that's all is really needed for a child to get drugs off the street.
It's a shame, but it's true.
Yes, it is.
Now, pot is dangerous. You do not know what's it mixed with, so why should we legalize it?
Well, see, if we were to legalize marijuana, you would have to label it. You would be sold. It would be taxed. Okay, so then when it's going through that taxation process, you'll have to tell where it was grown, how it was grown, what strain it is.
Make sure that certain chemicals are not mixed in the field and stuff.
And also for the customer or the client to understand and know what it is they're ingesting, just as you would any food product.
Absolutely,
you
yep.
know.
The only thing I don't think I can add much to it, but that right now you have no idea. It's a baggie, of green substance, So product. I love the idea of product labeling. Where it's grown? Is this organic? Is what state did it come from? Is there pesticides used on it?
What company grew it?
What company grew it? That's right.
Because there are standards.
Now, is there really mothers out there supporting legalizing marijuana?
Yes. Yes, we are. I'm one of those mothers. Not only from the aspect that it is useful, okay, but we are tired of our children dying. As I stated, there are a lot of African American families that have been affected by the drug trade. My brother was one of them. And there aren't very many families that have not been touched by death, maim, loss of a brother, a son, a husband. If it was regulated, there would not be as many people, there wouldn't be people out there attempting to obtain things illegally. I can go to the store, I can buy a pack of cigarettes at the store, that's taxed. I can go to the state liquor store and buy a bottle, that's taxed. I don't have anybody standing out there ready to kill me because I just bought something out of the store.
That's a good point, really good point.
Just a little add-on to that about the mothers. NORML now has a Women's Alliance group has formed, and Nicole is part of that. Prohibition 1, okay, I think we're in Prohibition 2, frankly. Prohibition 1, the alcohol prohibition, ended in great deal due to mothers saying, enough is enough. We thought this would be good for our children. It's not. It's corrupting them. They're dying. They're getting involved in criminal activity. So, yes, there are mothers out there, and they're in growing numbers saying, legalize it.
Yeah, well, I agree with that because, like I said, it's hard for mothers to come out about that issue, actually, because, it's hard because they worried about being, scrutinized by the public, people looking at them, oh, you're a mother and you smoke pine, and they worry about, how it affect, somebody will take their kids from them, stuff like that.
That's
a lot of people, that's why I think a lot of people don't come out.
It's about time. Mm-hmm. Come out of the closet, moms, and join NORML's Womens Alliance.
And I printed out this article that you guys were talking about. It was to deal with why moms want marijuana legalized. And I highly suggest, what website can they go to read this?
Miami Valley NORML's website, mvnormal.org, or just www, of course, miamivalleynormal.org, and that's up on our front page.
Yeah, I highly recommend reading this article because I read it and I think it's something that every mother should read. A lot of people actually should read, but mothers especially.
I love the little graphic there. I don't know if your camera can focus in on it or not, but it says drug dealers don't check ID.
Okay, yeah, that's, wow. Now, what we're going to have to do, I'm going to have to start wrapping it up here, and wanted to get the website and the phone number that people can call, and any closing thoughts you may have in the next 60 seconds.
You want to add anything?
Sorry to have to cut that short. We just
Miami Valley NORML can be found on mvnormal.org or miamivalleynormal.org. Our email is info@mvnormal.org, or you can call us at 888-385-2843, and you can become a member, or you can make a donation, or become a volunteer.
So you have anything you would like to add?
No, I do. Thank you for allowing us on your program and speaking with us in such a manner about such deep issues.
Oh, I appreciate it too, and I definitely want you guys to come back on and tell us more about whatever you find out, if there's any new findings, and I look forward to having you back on.
Okay.
And we'll be right back with more of the Niki Wilkerson Show.